You can use the raise hand function. Our first question will come from Jacob Rayburn with the Cardinal Sports Report.
Hey Kendall, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. How are you doing?
Can't complain. Wondering, upon review of this last Saturday, what are the teaching points for the defensive backs and maybe the defense as a whole, but specifically you guys? And also, first game in obviously a weird context. How do you think you guys held up and did?
I mean, obviously we wanted to come out with a W, so we didn't do good enough in that room. As DBs, I feel like some things that we could clean up, just bad eyes on some plays, making plays on the ball, and other things like that. Just minute details. Also, just making sure we're honing in on those and making sure we're trying to chase perfection.
And a follow-up, uh, Ethan Bonner, he played a full game. I think last I checked, for the first time since his junior year of high school. He's really struggled with his health. He kind of was on the bad end of some really fantastic plays that Oregon's receivers made. What are your thoughts on Ethan's kind of journey to back to being a starter and how he played?
Ethan is a great corner. I mean, I'm definitely happy to see him out there, see him playing. I mean, I know the past couple of years he has had injuries and stuff like that, and it's been hard to like see your teammates go through something like that. So I'm happy to see him out there. Um, I mean, I feel like every DB kind of has those games where sometimes you're just targeted and stuff like that. So just finding your way through that, through those difficult games, making sure you're the next week you're doing better and fixing the things that you need to fix just to have a better game. So I'm excited to see what he has coming this next game. We're definitely confident in him.
Thanks, Kendall.
No problem.
The next question will come from RJ Abadia with the bootleg. Go ahead, RJ.
Kendall, how did you grade the communication in the secondary for the first time out?
I feel like it was good for the most part. We definitely there's always I feel like in the first game some errors when it comes to things like communication, alignment, and stuff like that. So I feel like it could definitely be better. Just communicating amongst us and to the linebackers and everything like that. I feel like there's always room for improvement in there. You can never talk enough. But I feel like we did a decent job for the first game.
And then I'm just curious, had you guys, obviously the news about Davis and Connor and Trey came pretty close to game time. How did you guys process that in the moment? And had you guys sort of speculated about that this was something that may happen at some point this season?
I know personally, I definitely had thought about that, especially hearing about some of the other games being canceled in the pack for the first week. So it's always something that had crossed my mind. I feel like our team mentality kind of when we heard about that was we still got to go out there and play. We still got to go out there and like chase a win, chase a W. So I mean, regardless of who's on the field and who's off the field, that's still how we got to go. We still got to try. We still got to try and win, regardless.
And then just the last one for me, what's the early film on Colorado look like? I know it's only pretty much one game that you have, but what did they do that kind of stood out to you?
I think one thing that stood out was probably the quarterback. He's a converted safety from last year, so his legs definitely show up. They're using the tight end a lot more in like that off wide position. They don't have number two from last year, but they do still have some guys that want to highlight like number three. So still honing in and trying to figure out some things that they like to do, some things that maybe they don't like to do as much. So but yeah, those are some kind of things I'm seeing early on.
Our next question will come from Daniel Martinez Krams of the Stanford Daily.
Yeah, I want to follow up on that about their quarterback having played safety last year. Putting yourself in his shoes, kind of as someone who plays safety, can you imagine what getting that side of the ball experience there might help a quarterback with?
Yeah, I feel like it probably would help him in that sense, just from like knowing what it's like to be back there and kind of stare like the other position like in the face. because I feel like sometimes with that middle safety, it's almost like you versus the quarterback, and just reading off of him and everything like that. So that definitely probably gives him a little bit of insight what it's like to be back there, what that safety or like defensive backs are thinking in that position. So yeah, I think that definitely probably gives him a little insight in that sense.
Any other questions for Kendall? All right, thank you, Kendall, for your time, and we'll send out the audio and video shortly.
No problem.